Well, hello, kitty cats and kittens. Guess what? It's Froggy Friday! And today I am making a very special back to school frog. I'm starting out with this eraser pink matte glitter. It's unfortunately no longer made by MNG Supply Co., so I did find you a comparable item in the description. Matte glitter isn't very sparkly, so I'm adding this pretty pink sparkly glitter. It's iridescent. It's also not available anymore from MNG Supply Co., but again, I have a comparable item listed for you. I always have my pinky out. I have no idea why. I'm adding a drop of clear school glue, and this is a technique that was, I think, created by Daniel Cooper. But what it will do is it will thicken up the resin, so you can see it there. It's really unappetizing. The consistency is kind of gross, but it thickens it up so that your glitter doesn't sink. Froggy Friday is a weekly amphibian collaboration hosted by Girl in the Garage, The Dragon's Cave, Nerd Goblin Art, Tim the Bass Resonator, and Gert Creates. The playlist is in the description. Make sure you watch the other videos after mine. To make the metal band around the eraser, I'm using this holographic silver glitter. How pretty is this glitter? Holographic silver glitter is just amazing. So I'm adding more. This is a finer cut of the same glitter. More sparkle. Always more sparkle. Is that even a question? Glitter is life. I only want a very thin layer of this, so I don't add the glue. I don't need the glitter to float. It's going to be thin enough, you'll see it. That goes in the curing machine for a couple of hours, and now it's time for us to make the yellow portion. I'm using this iridescent yellow glitter, and I'll be adding this other yellow glitter, which is not iridescent. As I did in the last two layers, I'm using Let's Resin's crystal clear epoxy resin, and this is an old cup that has cured, so don't worry, it's just clear resin. The yellow layer will be the thickest layer because the body of the pencil is the biggest part of the pencil. Until it gets down to be like a little nub. Do you remember that? It would become like a tiny little nub and you'd still be writing with it. Is that not the most perfect number 2 pencil yellow? I love it. As this is the thickest layer, I want to make sure that glitter doesn't sink. I intend to give this frog to my niece Laura, who is a teacher in our local school district. She works incredibly hard and loves her kids, and I hope that she can put this in her classroom and maybe use it as a little reminder of the fact that she's loved and what she's doing is important. Teachers are the best. I make sure to hit this with my heat gun because it's so thick in consistency, I want to give it a chance to degas a little bit. I also give it a spritz of alcohol. After that's cured, it's time for our graphite or pencil lead layer, and I'm using this gray glitter, which you can see isn't quite black when put next to something black. So it's perfect. And then to that, I want to add a little bit of the holographic glitter I have, and this is very, very fine holographic powder. This is from MNG Supply Co. It's so pretty. There are times when I've opened the little jar and it's just gone poof and gone everywhere. Not this day though. When you put regular black glitter into resin, it kind of loses its sparkle, and I was worried that this graphite color being so close to black would do the same thing. So to avoid that, I added the dark gray holographic glitter. Yes, it does need more glitter. This layer will be about as thick as the pink eraser layer, so I will again be adding the glue to it. I do give this a spritz of alcohol to try to avoid any bubbles. And I will finish filling this off camera once I put it into my curing machine. I didn't want to risk spilling it on the way into the curing machine because I have done that a time or 400. I have to say this mixture of the two different dark grays is really, really pretty. Okay, it's time to demold this cutie. Let's see if it worked. I rode the struggle bus for this demold for sure. It totally looks like a number 2 pencil. I'm so excited. And the glitter didn't sink. The gloopy goo mixture seems to work really well. Froggy kiss. Okay, so Froggy may look like a pencil, but I think she needs to be a little more party and less pocket protector. I can't take credit for that phrase. That one was all Mr. Kitschy. I have a few different colored bows that I'm looking at using, and I do end up eventually picking the black one. The other two just didn't show up well enough. To stick on the rhinestones, which I do intend on using, I'm using my liquid fusion glue. Highly recommend this if you're going to be doing anything with rhinestones. But first I'm using it for the bow. I can't quite figure out which way the bow should face. I end up actually flipping it around. I think it looks better that way. Here I'm trying to decide whether I want to use the silver rhinestones or the black rhinestones. The black would show up better and would match the bow, but the silver would bring out the silver glitter. I eventually decide on the silver rhinestones, and I'm just doing a little ridge along her back. I don't do a full line of the glue because it dries a lot shinier than the resin itself, and I don't really want to be able to see that glue when it's all done. My hands were super shaky this day. I have no idea why. Does that ever happen to you? Like, for some reason my hands will just be incredibly shaky one day. So I do end up having to steady my hand with my other hand, but eventually I get there. I mess around with these first 3 rhinestones though for what felt like forever. I just could not get them in a straight line. I don't find this terribly surprising for myself, but still, I was annoyed. Man, I'm telling you, straight lines are hard. But that's it. Once the glue dries, this Froggy is all ready for her glamour shots. I really like how it looks. I was worried you wouldn't be able to tell it was a pencil, that maybe it would just look like different colored layers, but I really think it looks like a pencil, and I hope Laura does too. I have this really cool glitter that's a mix of black and silver, and it's actually meant for making tumblers that look like composition notebooks. So I'm thinking this Froggy's gonna eventually need a composition notebook friend. If you know someone who's a teacher, make sure to thank them for all that they do when you get the chance. They are so overworked and so underpaid and so underappreciated. None of us would be where we are at this moment in time without teachers. So go thank that teacher when you can. I hope you like my number 2 pencil Froggy, and I hope the rest of your day is hoppin'. Thanks for hopping by. I'll see you soon.